Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, for the first time, we're going to tackle doing a review of a Beatles album, Revolver. We'll talk about all the songs, which ones are our favorites, and much more. Alrighty, lots to cover in this episode. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it, so let's jump in and let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. Today I'm excited to have back with me my two friends. First, my friend Vincent LaRusso, who, let me warn you all, is in a mood today. A joyous mood. So
Hola.
yeah.
Hola.
And my good friend Super Mario, who is back after about 7 or 8
Wait
months.
a second. What about our good friend? Not my good
No,
friend.
no, he's
our,
my good friend. No,
I
like
how
he
I'm
told
like
me
not
before you
included.
connected, he's like, look, I'm really not too friendly with Vincent anymore, but don't tell him that. But I just decided I'd share it with the world now on the podcast.
That would never happen. No, that would
No,
never
that
happen.
wouldn't. That wouldn't. But yeah, it's been what, like 7, 8 months, I think, since the last time you
I
were on, man.
the last time we did was My Chemical Romance. Yeah.
Yes, which
Oh,
is
yeah, when was that?
actually so I released it last July or August, I forget. So I held it for like 6 weeks. I forget why, but so it's probably like May, June that we recorded that
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
before we were recording this, we were saying the last time we were all in person together we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary, right?
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah, so
Incredible.
we'll have
Yeah.
to do that again. But I'm glad, Mario, you brought up the My Chemical Romance thing because that was the part that planted the seed of us having to do this. Because the last time we did this, I chose the My Chemical Romance album. And I remember you sending a text message to me at one point that just said jokingly, "Oh, my poor Paul McCartney ears." And obviously you are a huge Beatles fan. And I was like, you know what? We've never done a Beatles album. At some point after I tortured
No,
Mario.
all that stuff landed on his wall by accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Who did this?
I said, you know what? I introduced him to My Chemical Romance, so the natural progression is now if I introduce Mario to the Beatles. So
Right.
no, I was like, you know what? I tortured him with the My Chemical Romance album. It's now time to go right into Mario's wheelhouse, and let's do a Beatles album for the first time ever on the show, right? But I was like,
Let's do it.
where do we go? What album? So I said, you know what? I'm going to let Mario choose the album here because you can go 1,000 different ways when it comes to the Beatles. So Mario, tell us, and I think if anybody's looking at your background, they could pick which album you're going to notice which album you picked. But what
Yeah.
made you choose the album that you chose for us?
It wasn't that difficult a choice. I was leaning a little bit towards Abbey Road or maybe the White Album, but this is where it all happened, 65, 66, and 67.
Hmm.
Rubber Soul, Revolver, and Sergeant Pepper. This is the trifecta that just changed everything. So I figured, Revolver has like all the things that worked well on Sergeant Pepper was kind of fleshed out on Revolver. They were
Hmm.
really experimenting, and there's a lot of great stuff here. So I thought it would be nice to listen to an album proper instead of the greatest hits and the
Yep.
playlists and the set lists and all those things that we do. And it was fun experience because I mean obviously I've heard the album many times, but you just get into the whole thing of listening to the hits when you're in the car or whatever the case may be. But it's like wow, the album from beginning till end. Let's do Revolver.
And just so anybody watching knows, Mario, when did you first become a Beatles fan?
I was introduced with the Red and the Blue album, the greatest hits,
Yep.
like 1976, 75, 76, in that neck of the woods. And then, my sister's 3 years older, so I had access to the older teenagers on the block, and they would say, "Oh yeah, the Red album, the Blue album, that's good." But You got to get Pepper. You got to get Abbey Road. You got to get that. So then I started saving my pennies and my allowance, and I started buying Beatle albums at EJ Corvettes,
Wow. Nice.
the best
Nice.
record shop I've ever been to.
Nice. Nice. I think that's where Corvettes might be where I got my first album also. Not a
It was
Beatles album,
great.
but first record ever.
And where I got
Second
my Peter.
floor, make a left at the off the escalator.
Yeah.
Wait, I remember. I
It's
remember. Yeah,
true.
the second floor. Make a left at the. I thought it was a right.
I
Oh,
just
I
remember
think
going up the escalator. I can't tell you if it's left or right.
I felt like it was you made a right going up.
really.
Let's go to the videotape.
Maybe Vin made it right and then went around the long way until he got to
Oh,
the
good. Who
records.
knows? I wanted the. I had my, my Apple Watch. I was
That's
doing my
right.
step.
That's
But
right.
that's where I remember famously going up the escalator and seeing the bin of Kiss dolls,
Mm.
Oh,
and
wow.
that's where I got my Peter Chris Kiss doll.
Wow. Okay,
Nice.
nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, Mario, you made a comment about the trifecta of the Beatles albums here in the middle.
Yeah.
Let's remember to revisit that comment at the end of this, okay? Because then I could
Okay.
tell you, I could share with you my story, but I think it's best to save it till the end instead of
Great.
up front, okay? And
Terrific.
Vin, when did you first become a Beatles fan?
Honestly, I can't really date that.
Mhm.
I think when I became a true Beatles fan, because look, growing up in my house, I heard all
Right.
classic rock. I heard all different types of music. Of course, I knew of all the popular Beatles songs, but remember making a conscious decision when I started getting into audio engineering and recording and that stuff, and learning how to do layering, and so what better blueprint to use than the Beatles, especially I had started with a 4 track, which is how they started. Not they
Mhm.
started. Well, that's what they had at Abbey Road. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
they would did up until I think Mario, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the White Album, everything was done on 4 track, and
Yeah.
then I think on the White Album they went to 8 track, and they did eight
Hmm.
track on also Let It Be and Abbey
Abbey
Road.
Road.
Now,
Yeah.
what I think I've come to find out, because I've always thought, like, how did they get all those tracks on those 4? I think they would use 2 4 tracks and they would kind of sync them together.
Hmm.
Because if you think about all the orchestration, all that stuff, you have to bounce things down. But anyways, my point being is that that was the height of the late '80s, were the height of having a Walkman, and
Mhm.
those subway rides into the city where I used to work, and I used to just really like hone in and listen to the Beatles and listen
Right.
to harmony, and no one's really sat down and taught me that. So
Mm.
I would really say like late '80s where I really started kind of going through the catalog,
Yep. Yep.
and was kind of shocked and amazed that some of these albums weren't greatest hits albums. That's how good they were.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Exactly.
Yep.
so
Now, Mario, would you say the Beatles are your number one band?
Yeah. I'd say.
Vin, for you?
and he never had, and then he never had to hide in the closet about that.
No,
like he was
that's
with the Kiss fan.
exactly.
As I brought out his Kiss fandom, that he was a proud, like he didn't have to be embarrassed to be a, I always say, it's like 1A and 1B,
Yeah.
I'm always, I think I have, because as a a young kid, Kiss was so impressionable on me as a 7 8 year old, 6 7 8 year old, which the Beatles, I didn't have that with the Beatles. So Kiss is
Right.
always going to be my number one. The Beatles are going to be number two. Desert Island, that's like a tough question, even though you didn't
Yeah.
ask it. Like what would I put on? Like
I'm glad
Beatles
you
or
thought of
Kiss?
me asking it, Vin.
He's gonna give it to you.
Yeah, that would be so tough.
Mhm.
That'd be so tough. And not that I could ever compare Kiss's songwriting to the Beatles. As I say, I believe Paul McCartney's an alien. I don't think one human being could be that talented and write that many great songs.
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
So
yep. So I asked you those questions because now, and people who watch the show may know this, I would categorize myself as a casual Beatles fan. I certainly know all the hits. I'll even say I know like the next level down those songs, but I don't know every single album cut on every single album. Even on this album that we're going to talk about today, there was a couple of songs that I had, quite honestly, I don't know if I ever heard in my life. Okay. So just by way of comparison, that's why I wanted to kind of share with the viewers and the listeners, your guys' fandom goes back decades. And while I've certainly known the Beatles from, when I was yay big only, I don't know every last song and every last detail the way you guys do.
Well, it's funny, Mario, when we were growing up, especially the late '80s, and and then this was like a big thing, when especially when he got into his punk rock, 10 years later, that it actually was popularized.
Yep.
And he was torturing me in his room, besides being sweating our ass off with no air conditioning.
That's right.
I would be like, how could you not be listening to the Stones? Don't you know the Brown Sugar, the Sticky Fingers? He's like, you know, or the Beatles. Oh, you got to. He really never attached himself. I really don't remember that.
No.
And I tried, you know, and this was even before I got heavily into the Beatles and stuff
Yes.
like that.
No,
Right.
You know,
you did.
that's
And
always
I'll
been
say,
a
as
thing.
I've gotten older, I've attached myself much more with like Led Zeppelin. I enjoy listening to Zeppelin. I enjoy listening to the
Nice.
Beatles. I still, to this day, I don't love the Rolling Stones. I could take them, leave them. If I never hear another Stones song again, except maybe Satisfaction, I don't necessarily care. I hate to say that, but I've seen the
You see,
Stones in
but
concert and it
this
didn't
is a
wow me.
caveat.
Go
This is
ahead.
a caveat because this might be like the next thing. I want, you know, we do Sticky Fingers from top to bottom because I know he's never listened to that record
Probably
top to
not top to
bottom.
bottom. No, probably not.
So, or you know, Exile on Main Street or something
Mhm.
like that.
Oh, wow.
Because I think if you do that, you're gonna have a different perspective on it.
That
Because the
that's
songs that
fair.
are not the popular songs, the popular songs, are you know, they're gonna be like, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't realize the
Well,
depth.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
and
know,
now I mean we're talking about, you know, in the 80s when we listened to music and how I kind of shied away from a lot of stuff in the 60s and 70s. I actually own one Rolling Stones album. Then you probably know which one it is, right?
you
Hot
owned
Rocks?
I own one Rolling Stones album only.
was it
And
Tattoo
no,
You?
nope, neither one of those.
Was the
Undercover of the
undercover
Night. Yep.
undercover tonight? Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Of all the
Of
records he
all the
buys, is
records,
undercover
exactly.
tonight.
that's the one.
And that's my
All
point
the
to bring it
records.
up. That's my
Yeah,
point to bring it up. Although I do
yeah,
like that song. You know, I still think the title track is a good
yeah,
song.
yeah. I had
But
that 45.
yeah, yeah. But
I always got. I love saying that. I had that
I know.
45.
Yes, you do love saying that I have that 45. And I'm
Speaking of
surprised. I was gonna
45,
say I'm surprised you're
There we
not using
go.
the opportunity.
anybody know about this Joe Dole? I'm sorry.
There you go.
I gotta get the Joe.
It's the weekly showing off of the Joe Dolce's 45. And then of course right behind that, Vin, I see you have the Revolver album, just like Mario,
This
you
is
have the
the
whole Beatles
yeah. This is the
play behind
remaster.
you. That's the
Yeah.
remaster. Is that the original
I
behind you, Mario?
No, no, actually, since we're talking about the UK pressing, that's that's the full UK version of Revolver. You know, the American one is like 11 songs, and this is 14 songs.
Okay.
They lopped off 3 John songs for the American one, and they put them on Yesterday and Today because the
And why
American
did they do that?
just
yeah,
big cash in on the
Okay.
Beatles. There was, you know, like Paperback Writer and Rain were part of the Revolver sessions, but they're not on the Revolver album. They're on 45, you know. So it was a whole commerce thing, you
Hmm.
know.
Mario's the man with this. We would go record shopping, and I would take and he would look at the label. That was manufactured at the plant in New Mexico. There was no plant in New Mexico. In 1976, there were 3 of those made, and 7 of them had a line. Like he knows like everything about the
Hmm.
stuff. It's
Well, when he
great. Like
texted you and I, he was like, make sure you listen to the UK version, and he gave us the track listing.
yes,
And when I pulled it up, it was the first one I found, to be quite honest with you. And I was like,
yeah.
I never questioned Mario's knowledge, but I was like, are there more than one
And
version? So I had to go
actually,
look it up. And I was like, yeah, of course there is. Of
and
course,
actually,
Mario knew
when I
that.
copied and pasted, because I don't remember, I have a crappy memory. It looks like from like when I, you know, quite honest, I didn't really have to listen to these songs to give them ratings. But when I just quickly put them in title, just if there were like kind of little things I wanted, there were like 2 songs that were flipped. I don't know if that was, you know, it was interesting, but we'll get to that.
Interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this before we jump in to start on our
Yeah,
ratings.
let's do that.
But I'm going to say one thing before we do that, Mr. LaRussa.
Yes.
In some ways, I think this is the podcast I'm most nervous about recording, right? So we
Oh,
just
boy.
talked about our fandom, right? No,
I'm,
no fears.
I'm sniffing a beating. I'm
No,
sniffing a
no,
beating.
no. I'll tell you.
I'm sniffing a beating.
Let me finish the comment, okay? I
You
feel like
better start that New York Marathon now. Start running now.
well, look. I'm sure we're gonna have some difference of opinions, right? But here's my thing. I feel like to many Beatles fans, the Beatles could do no wrong, and I feel like to some fans, they're gonna say they're reviewing Revolver. Well, every song is a 10. What's there to talk about, right? And I don't know that there's any other artist that fans feel that way. Pretty much, I said, you know, because we're talking about Revolver, I said Revolver, but fill in the blank with almost any Beatles album. And I think most Beatles fans feel, well, every song is a 10. There's nothing to talk about. And I can say right off the top, guarantee you I'm not going to have every song as a 10, right? So I'm a little nervous.
Nine?
Like,
Can we get a nine?
we'll see. We'll see. So I can tell you every song won't be a 9 either, but I could just tell you.
I'll just keep going.
I'm nervous on the reaction that some, not the two of you, because the two of you always welcome different opinions, but I'm a little nervous that some people out there are going to be like, what the hell is Brun thinking? Every Beatles song is a 10. And I'll be curious if you guys say that.
Is that why you called me and asked about adult diapers?
Yeah, it was exactly.
Oh God.
For the record, that phone call did not take place.
No, of course.
Don't go. I'll go to log.
You can go to log all you want.
Captain's log.
You can go to all the
Get a
logs
captain's
you want.
log.
Yeah,
Get a captain's
log.
I get it. But let's talk about what the ratings mean on the show, right? So we rate every song from 0 to 10. I'm pretty certain no song's going to be a 0 of the Beatles, right? But 10 is your, what I say, your perfect songs, your upper echelon songs. I usually say it's your quote unquote stairway to heavens. Maybe if you're the Beatles fans, you're saying it's your Yesterday or your Let It Be or whatever you think the greatest Beatles songs are. But not every song is a 10, although maybe Vincent and Mario are going to disagree, right? We say 7 and up starts your upper echelon. 5 is average. Anything below 5 is less than average, right? There's 10 points for a reason. Not every song
zeros
is
you
10,
wanted the best.
And 0 is you wanted the, well, I think you and I, Vin, the worst song we've ever rated is Ace Frehley's Dolls, if I remember right.
Oh, that's right. That's
the lowest
Wow.
rating. But you wanted the best was right behind it. I think it's the second
Yeah.
worst song we have ever rated, right? So just for point of comparisons. But parent comparisons. But I'm kind of a little excited to do this, and I'm really curious. All right, Vincent's ready to go. So since Vincent's so excited, Vin, I'm going to let you start with the first song on this album, Taxman. Go ahead.
Sure, I'll go right now.
Oh, you were supposed to save that for the end.
Unscripted.
Unscripted moment here.
Oh. Oh, you don't know. You didn't see that.
Okay, we didn't see that.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Taxman, love this song. It's got the great bass line. And you know what I love? It's like it starts off the album with a George song, which is really cool, right?
Yep.
It's I just everything about this song I love. It's just it's that background like at the end whatever they're saying. I'm terrible with lyrics, you know. It's just.
Oh, I thought those were the actual lyrics. No.
Yes. I gave this a 7.5. This song.
Wow. Okay. I'm happy to hear you didn't start 10 right because I was like gonna be like, oh my god, no 10.
I give this.
Mary, I'll save you for last. All right, I'll go next. All right. So
okay.
So my first thing I had, and I wanted to go next because Vin mentioned that the album starts with a George Harrison song, and my question was, is this the first Beatles album to start with a George Harrison song?
Yes.
Okay, I had a feeling it was, right? Because I noticed the whole story.
I love how he said that like a game show host. Yes.
Because
and the only Beatle album.
That was going to be my next question. Yep, that was going to be my next question because I know the next couple of albums a little bit more than this one front to back, and I was like, none of those start with a George Harrison song. So okay, so this is the only one. Yeah, you know, I'll say this. I like the song, and Vin, I like that you were talking about the riff. The problem that I have with this song, and always have had with this song, is that the song is just that riff repetitive over and like the song doesn't go anywhere to me. I hate to say it like that, but it's just like that same riff there. Like just the whole song, it just nothing ever changes with it. I love George Harrison's solos in this. I get frustrated that the song fades out at the end when he's starting a second song. I'm like, I want that a little bit longer, a little bit more solo there at the end. I'll also say I've never been a huge fan of songs about the tax man. Maybe it's my accountant background. I don't know, but if you give me Cheap Tricks, Taxman, Mr. Thief, never been a huge fan of that song either. So I'm going to disappoint Vin right on you, maybe right off top. I'm going to go with a 5.5 on this.
By the way, to correct you, Paul McCartney did the guitar solo on that.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, maybe that's why it's my favorite George Harrison. No, please. I am not the expert.
I love the guitar solo that George Harrison didn't play on the song.
So it's my favorite George Harrison solo, but it's not his. Okay.
Mario, do you have the buzzer or do I have the buzzer? Who has the buzzer? I told you.
You guys are killing me.
No, look, we want to be factually correct on this. And I said I'm the casual beat, and I just assumed Harrison did the solo because it's his song. So why did Paul McCartney do the solo on George Harrison's song?
I'm not sure why it happened, but it just there were a lot of songs that
just George. George Martin suggested McCartney take the solo because Harrison was struggling to find the right sound, leading
Yeah.
to a fast Indian influence and feedback heavy performance by Paul.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't get an Indian influence on that at all.
I think it's kind of the feeling.
Yeah.
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 Right. Well, I love the
When was the
solo.
last time you listened to Indian music?
This was
About
the only time.
45 minutes ago, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about that one when
This
we
is
get
it.
to it, right? But
The only
yeah,
time.
Uh,
yeah, maybe so.
yeah.
But all right, so I'm going with a five and
With
a half
five,
on
five,
this,
five and a half. All right.
and thank you for correcting me
All
and
right.
enlightening me on that. So now go ahead, Mr.
There you go.
Mario.
Well, it is good that it's it's a George opening song for an album. He never happened. I think it's sarcastic. It's funny. It's maybe a little bit telling because Ringo became a tax exile in the 70s, and
Hmm.
he moved all his wealth to Monte Carlo. And George, John, and Paul, all of them, Bowie, a lot of people did it. Bowie, the Stones, they got U.S. addresses to beat the what do you call it? The Labor Party was
Hmm.
taking 98%,
Which
and
is egregious. And Kathy Lee.
And
and
Michael
George wrote
Strahan.
about it, and
Yeah.
then it actually came true.
Right.
They moved their wealth. So
Interesting.
I like the song. I don't really get hung up on the repetitiveness of it.
Hmm.
I think it's an 8.5 though.
Nice.
Well,
Very nice.
the way he set that up, I was like, wow, he's gonna go lower than me, but he went higher.
Yeah. All right. Next up, then, Eleanor Rigby. I'll let Mario go first here after he finishes his
My
Snapple or whatever it is,
beverage.
his
Snappy, no, no,
beverage.
it's Kirkland. He's got the
It's
Kirkland
Kirkland. Okay.
lemonade, the
Yeah.
lemonade.
This
Go ahead.
this is an amazing song. It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds of pure sadness and loneliness. There's no drums, there's no bass, there's no guitar. It's the George Martin octet with cellos and violins. And here we are, 1966. It's supposed to be a rock album or pop album, however you want to categorize it. And in comes Paul, and he's like the narrator of this song. He's got these two characters in the song. That to me, this is what a 10 song is supposed to sound like. It's just tremendous, tremendous song.
As a Beatles fan, and then obviously you weren't alive in 66 listening to the Beatles, how much of a shock was it for the fans to hear a song like this? Like you said, with no guitars, no drums.
I often say to some of my friends that we hang out sometimes, and like in the 70s, I remember one of the kids on the block bought A Night at the Opera, and was sitting in the basement listening to this, and I was like, "What are we supposed to do with this?"
Hmm.
The only opera I know is from The Odd Couple, and I have no knowledge of opera. It's like,
Hmm.
but I love the end of that song because it's all heavy metal and it's great. So I would imagine the kids, the teens in 1966 put this on, and it's like, you got to be kidding.
Right.
Violins, really?
Hmm.
But hey, listen, 2 minutes and 10 seconds of very, very tough subject to sing about, and pop perfection, I think. 10.
Well, I'll say this. I think what it proves is a good song is a good song, right? And you don't need guitars, you don't need bass, you don't need drums, you don't need a hard rock song. The melody of the song is just to me so great. It's what makes the song so great, right?
Yeah.
So, and I guess I'm going next here on this. Sorry, Vin, I'll save you for last. But to me, that's what I always liked about the song. Clearly, everybody I think knows this song. You have to be living under a rock if you don't know this song for decades, right? So I went with a 7.2 on this, and I just want to say for both of you guys, because you know is near the fan, you're not fans the way I am at all on this. Weezer about 5 years ago recorded an album in part at Abbey Road, and the album is a lot like this song. It's all strings. There's
Wow.
no guitars, there's no bass. Just check out the song, like all my favorite songs, right? Just go check that out. The album's Okay Human, but it's kind of harping back to this Eleanor Rigby sound and whatever.
Yeah.
And some fans love it, some fans hate it. You might be like, wow, this is kind of interesting to hear a more current band doing music like this also.
Right.
And I
I
happen to
have to
like,
check it out.
yeah, I happen to like the song, all my favorite songs. Dare I say, even better than Eleanor Rigby. I know that might be taboo to say, right? But check that out. But anyway,
Okay.
7.2 on this one.
Okay.
Go ahead, Vin.
What I love is the after Taxman is done, and then the way the song comes in, and I
Mm.
picture the person listening to it for the first time being like, taken
Yeah.
aback, right? And I love the fact that it kind of starts with McCartney doing like the harmony and the chorus right away,
Hmm.
and like the way it just comes in. And yeah, it's the brilliance of George Martin, certainly. McCartney didn't have the complete skill set, that Martin, added to the songs and the arrangements or whatnot. Um, it's just I feel like it's such a one of a kind song.
Yeah.
It's like really in a league of its own. I gave the song a 9.
Hmm.
I think you could debate, you could go 9 or 10 on that. A lot of these songs I could. It's like I always say, I could flip the switch a day, but
Yep.
I think of my ultimate favorite Beatles songs and those tens, and that's why I gave this one a 9.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. All right. Then next up, I'm Only Sleeping. We'll stay with you, Vin. Go ahead.
I fucking love this song. I love this song.
Nice.
Oh, I just love the way, the jangliness. I used to
Yeah.
cover the song with a trio, and we did the
Nice.
harmonies. And that's what I'm coming from perspective too, not doing this, but like performing some of these songs and understanding the intricacies of harmony and
Hmm.
chord changes. The Beatles really introduced me, to a B7 chord, which, is always like that tricky chord to play, and it really puts that tension. So anytime I'm writing a song and I get stuck and I got to put that, oh, the Beatles, let me go to the Beatles, the B7 chord.
Hmm.
But yeah, I love this song. I love, after he sings, I'm only sleeping and, that McCartneyism. I mean, it's just oozing with McCartneyisms with the bass and I love the bridge part in this song. I gave it a 9.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll say
Nice.
this. I happen to love this song. I'm not going to go as crazy as you did with how much I love it, but I really love this. I love the melody in this song. I love the whole when I wake up early in the morning line and the vocal and the way he sings it. To me, this is this is what everything I like about the Beatles. And I'm glad that you said, Vin, like with the harmonies and all that, because look, I said I'm a casual Beatles fan. They're not my number one band. But was there any band that had better harmonies and singing like that than the Beatles? Probably not. And just anytime you hear that, instantly you're like, oh, damn, that's good. Damn, that's good. I don't care what song it is. As soon as even if the song sucked, and I'm not saying they have songs that suck, but even if the song sucked and they're singing like that, you're like, well, that sounds great. So,
Mm.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I really like this song. I gave it a 7.8.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
good.
I
Go ahead, man.
I like the song. I like it's kind of, it's 1966. They're in a mess really with the whole John's remarks and they're gonna stop touring and so I'm only sleeping. It sounds like to me lyrically he just wanted to get some shut eye, and he just wrote this amazing song, to convey that message. And this is a solid 8 for me.
Nice. Now, none of us brought this up, so I have to ask you guys. The backwards solo, I was going to say George Harrison did the backwards solo, but maybe I'm going to be wrong again. So whoever did the backwards solo on this, who was it?
Mm.
Was it George or was it Paul?
I'm pretty sure this one was
It was
George.
George. So
Yeah.
that actually, to me, I lost a half a point on my rating because of that. And I've read since then that they were the first ones to do something like this, but I kind of felt like the song was so great, it didn't need that. And it kind of distracted a little bit to me having a backwards. So I'm sure in 66, when people listen to it, they're like, what the hell? That's cool. But in 2026, 60 years later, I'm like, not really necessary. What were your thoughts on the backwards solo, Mario?
Well, the recording studio is now an instrument in their hands right
Yep.
now. These songs were not meant to be played live. Um, so I think all the innovation in the world was taking place, like I said, during this time frame,
Yep.
and this is a good example of it.
Hmm. Vin, any thoughts on the backwards solo as somebody who
I,
produces music all the time? And all?
I mean, I'm going to appreciate when something, I don't know if that was the first time there was a backward solo on a
That's what I
record.
read because when I heard it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds backwards. Let me Google and
But
make sure before I speak out of turn.
I
And
mean, I love innovation.
mhm.
There's countless number of artists who copied that.
Of course, yeah.
It's always like, it's like you hear. But what made you? Well, when I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan, I mean, if you had a nickel for every
Right.
time you heard
Of
that, you'd
course.
be
Yep.
$5 richer, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it never distracted me at all
Okay.
from the song.
Interesting. Interesting. All right.
So
Next.
what was your Superman? What was your rating? Or did you
Oh,
give a rating?
yeah. 8. Did I say 8? I'm not
I don't think
sure.
he said
I
anything.
don't
Did
think
he?
he said
Am I
eight.
losing my mind?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
he did. He did. He said eight.
He did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Let's go to the videotape.
Yes,
Come on,
he
Warren
did.
Wolf.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
All right. Because I knew that my rating and his were almost very close. I was like, ooh, may
yeah.
I rate any Beatles song higher than Mario? Time will tell. Who knows? But it was close that time. All right. Love you too. Go ahead, Mario. You first.
Not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I mean, I get the innovation, I get the inspiration. He really liked the sitar, and it's a good vocal. It's not a bad song, but 7. I'm
Wow. All right. I
not
didn't even think you were going to go that high.
not crazy about it.
Okay. Vin?
Yeah, I wrote down Indian Fest on this one. Yeah, again, it's quote Super Mario. Not a fan. I gave this one a 5.
Okay.
So,
And for me to give a Beatles a song, I could never go below a 5. But
so,
anyway,
so I'm glad. So I purposely let the two of you go first on this one before I speak up, right? Um, so let me ask you this question. Do you think your ratings, even as high as they are tainted because it's the Beatles? In other words, if this was any other artist, Mario, would you give this song a 7?
No.
Okay. I
I'm
appreciate
sorry.
that honesty. I
no,
I'm
appreciate
just
that
being
honesty. No,
no,
no, that's
in my
fine.
best game show voice. No.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Vin, you gave it a 5. If this wasn't a Beatles song, would you give it less than a 5?
No, I'm not. None of my ratings here are because of the Beatles at all.
Okay, so
Wow,
you think
that's
the
good.
song is actually a 5, Beatles or
Hmm.
anybody else? Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask you guys this question. Do either of you, so you asked me before, when was the last time I listened to an Indian artist? And I said, well, never, except 45 minutes ago when I was listening to this album, right? And I was thinking of this song. Do either of you guys, Vin, you have a wealth of albums there, have an album from an Indian artist in your collection?
No.
No.
Well, I don't know, Mary. You probably better than me. Any of those '70s artists we listened to are Indian and I didn't know it.
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so.
As,
Well,
as I
Nora
expected.
Nora Jones is the daughter of Ravi Shankar.
Ravi Shankar, yeah.
Ravi Shankar.
So she
I
considered it.
think I have her Christmas album.
Okay.
I
All
think I have
right.
a Christmas ornament, but that doesn't count, does it?
Well, if it has a button on it that plays music, then maybe it can
Oh
count.
God.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know. You know what? Now I gotta look famous. Let me just take a look famous. I'll just put American Indian artist. I don't know.
Yes. Yes. While you're looking that up, I could say, my notes. So this was a song I did not know beforehand from this album.
Right.
Okay, I'll say that.
It's not on
Um,
any compilation.
No, no. And I'll say I'm not disappointed that I didn't know it beforehand either. Okay. My first note is like, well, this is certainly no something, or certainly no Here Comes the Sun. What the hell is this? And every time I listen to it, I'm like, this song just annoys the crap out of me. I don't
Yeah.
like, there's nothing about this song I like. I don't own any Indian albums. It's not the type, it's nothing against that
Right.
type of music. It's just not my thing at all.
Right.
I'm not going to have the Beatles influence me with the fact that I've given this a rating. Sorry to everybody out there. This song's a freaking 2. It sucks. Okay.
Oh, language.
Yeah, I did not like this song at all. I was like,
Right in the
wow, this
schnoz.
this this
Yeah.
is horrible. I was like, every time I listen to the album, the song came on again. I'm like, oh, do I just skip it? And I was like, no, no, be fair. Maybe it'll grow on you. No, so I don't think I will ever listen to this song again. It was
Hey,
nothing enjoyable to me at all about it. So that's why I started with you guys, because if you're like, this is the best song ever, I was gonna say, oh my God, what the hell?
Mm.
yeah. All right.
All right.
Fair parent.
Fair
Fair
parent. Thank you. All
Fair
right.
parent. Fair parent.
So let's go to the next song then. Here, there, and everywhere. Go ahead, Vin. I'll let you start this one.
I love the way the song starts with the ooze and McCartney comes with the vocal. I mean, it's just fucking McCartney. God damn it, this goddamn melodies came up with fucking bastard. Oh, it's his voice. It's a beautiful song. I love the song. I don't think it's in the upper echelon yet, so I gave it a 6.8. You know, so now you can kind of get a feeling. I'm not like old Beatles out, like every song's going to be an 8 and above.
So wait, you gave Love You 2 a 5, and this is 6.8. You think they're that quote unquote close? That's egregious to me.
How do you put it to me that
I
way?
think you got to lower your five.
Don't touch my numbers.
You
Don't touch my
said, and I
numbers.
quote, I gave it a five because no Beatles song could be lower than average. That song sucked.
You know what I think about love?
Uh,
You know what I think?
but,
Love You Too. It's because even though it has that Indian inspired
Mhm.
flavors in the sitar, it's just still it's something about Harrison and the vocal that does something still for me. I think you
okay.
know, you know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, the vocal is very good.
Yeah, that's what I said. So
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
I can't give it any. I'm
And
staying to my five.
and
You're
the
not
s-
touching my five.
Okay.
the
And a
Yeah,
6.8.
the sitar is fine on Rubber Soul because
yeah,
it's just an added
Right.
instrument.
yeah,
Yep.
Here, it's the instrument that's the focal
That drives
point.
the song.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's
Fair
why I'm
parent,
not crazy about it.
Yeah.
fair
Okay.
parent, fair parent.
So all right, you said 6.8 on Here, There, and Everywhere?
You know what? I'll give it a 6.9, so I could be a little bit further away.
Okay. Go ahead, Mario. What do you think? Here, There,
Yeah.
and Everywhere.
I, this is such an easily consumed song. It's just, it's a beautiful melody, beautiful lyrics. McCartney's vocal, damn that guy. He's so great. That this is a solid 8 for me.
All right. We questioned if it would happen, and it has. I will have my rating higher than both of you for this. I love this
Wow.
song. Yeah,
Good.
this is like you said, Vin, Paul McCartney's voice. That just the melody of this song. Just I wasn't that much higher than Mario, but I went with an 8.2 on this. This is to
Okay.
me again. These are the types of songs that I say, yeah, that's what I love about the Beatles. I just Paul just what a freaking great
From
songwriter. You know, the
he
fact that
went
this is
Yeah.
not even maybe one of his 10 best songs to me is just says a lot about him as a songwriter, you know?
he went from a 2 to an 8.2.
That's
Love that.
right. That's right. Exactly. Exactly. So, all right. Next up, Yellow Submarine. Peace, everybody. Double
Double
Ringo.
Ringo.
Go ahead, Mario. Yellow Submarine. What are you thinking?
Well, it's forever in my mind all the fun we had going to see Ringo
Yes.
and hearing Yellow Submarine live and the whole place just going crazy.
Yep.
Well, before it was a movie, it was just a song on an album, and leave it to the Beatles to just turn it into a movie.
Mhm.
But it's a Ringo vocal. It's fun. It's a sing along. There's, you know, I'm not gonna rack my brain around. It's
Mhm.
an 8 for me.
Okay.
It's a good song.
Sure. Go ahead, Vin.
I mean, yeah. The first of all, love this era of music. When he goes in the town, it's totally sharp. His vocal,
Mhm.
totally sharp. He's out of tune.
Okay.
But that was the beauty of music back then.
That's
Yes.
it.
Ringo, don't worry, he sang out of tune. We're keeping it. All right. Now that today with the computer, they fit.
Yes.
Anyways, um, it's such a fun song. How could you
Right.
not be merry and listen to this? How could you not swing your arm like this? Right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. That being said, it's not upper echelon Beatles material to me. It's a 6.5. I love the
Yep.
song. It's a fun song. It's Ringo. How could you not love Ringo? Yes. You know what? And it's even one of those things. It's like the Bruce Kulick thing doing like, Burn Bitch Burn. When you
Yep.
hear it live, it's even more,
Yeah.
the rating kind of goes up. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, but we're giving this is the album. We're not doing live version. We're not
Right.
doing what we saw
Yeah.
in concert. So this
Yep.
is
Yep.
6.5 for me.
Yeah, it's funny, Vin, because in my notes I have, how can you listen to this song and not smile? Right. So it's
Right.
just like, and I also think, is there anybody else that could sing a song like this? Certainly like in the Beatles. I can't imagine John or George or Paul
I know who
singing
would.
Mm.
Yellow
Oh, you mean
Submarine.
another artist?
Yeah, I can't even think of another artist, let alone
I
one of the
can.
other guys.
Ooh,
Who?
ooh, 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 ooh,
Who?
ooh.
Go ahead. Who?
Rick Davies from the Kinks.
He covers this?
No, I'm saying who.
It's,
Think of his
Oh,
voice.
oh,
no,
oh.
and I'm sure people have covered it, but I'm
Yeah.
not even saying just the voice, just like the whole,
Oh,
like,
okay.
there's like a certain goofiness about it. And I don't mean that, I
Yes.
mean that in a complimentary way, right?
Me
So,
too.
there's
It's
only
true.
certain people that could pull that off, and Ringo just pulls it off. And Mary, I'm glad you mentioned when we saw him because, look, I've asked myself anytime I've heard this song for years and years and years, I'm like, do I think it's a good song? Or does it just make me smile and it's goofy and it's classic and I like it for that reason? And I've never been able to answer that question for myself. I don't know if I think it's a good song. But when we saw Ringo in concert, whatever it was, a few years ago, if
Yeah.
he did not do this song, I would have been so friggin' pissed off, because it's like, it's a classic. It's fun. And how could you not smile? And that's what music's all about. So
Right.
do I know if it's a great song or not? Vin, I'm kind of with you. I don't know if it goes to upper echelon, but damn, it's fun. And that's what music's about. So I went with a 6.8. I went just under the upper echelon because I'm like, you know what? I can't say this is an upper echelon song,
Yeah.
but damn, it's fun.
Oh,
Yeah. I
okay.
think what in concert he says, if you don't know this next song, you're at the wrong concert. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, it's so
exactly.
true, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So, all right. She said, she said. Go ahead, Mario.
Well, I think this is why I picked the album. It's
Hmm.
just this is completely different. It's there's some LSD involved and all that sort of thing. But what they're doing here is remarkable. It's a John song. It's a great vocal. This is a 9 for me.
Nice. Now, what do you think that they're doing in this that's so great? I want you to expand on that.
Yeah, I want to know too.
It's like nothing I've ever heard before.
Okay.
Because when I was listening to the Red album and the Blue album, you know, this wasn't going to make a compilation album.
Hmm.
So it's like she said, and then, my sister bought me this book. It's called The Beatles All Together Now.
Hmm.
And, they go into each song with a little bit, insightfulness and everything. And it's just, the tape loops that are taking place, all the innovation like that. It's a remarkable record. It's a remarkable song.
Interesting. I'll say this. I thought to me, the part I liked most about this song was Ringo's drumming, right? I just thought
Yeah.
that to me, he shines on this song. He's the standout on this. As a song itself, I thought it was, I'm going to say a little bit filler on the album. It doesn't grab me, certainly the way it grabbed you, obviously.
Mm,
I think it's okay. It's not great. It's certainly not bad. I gave it a 5.5.
okay.
Go ahead, Vin. You heard two different opinions here. Where do you land?
Yeah, I kind of land kind of a little in the middle of you guys. I think it's a great song. It's the innovation. I love the way the guitars kind of follow in his vocal. Like,
Hmm.
the fucking Beatles, god damn it. Anyways, yeah, but I gave it a six and a half,
Okay.
6.5 rating.
Literally right
It's
between us.
right
Yeah.
under the upper echelon, the start of the upper echelon.
Okay. I'm actually very surprised, Vin, especially with your ratings, that you have been, I don't want to say as critical, because obviously you keep saying this, God damn, it's the Beatles and stuff. But I was really worried I was going to come in here 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then I'm coming in with fives and sixes and sevens, and you guys, get this guy, kick him off of his own show, get rid of him.
Spoiler alert, we'll save that for Abbey Road.
Okay. That's fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Let's go to the next song, then. Good Day, Sunshine. I'm gonna go first on this, all right? So it's funny because this was a song, I think I'd heard it a few times in my life, but I definitely didn't know it the way I know some of the other Beatles songs. And the first few times I listened to it, I'm like, "Ah, it's a bit repetitive. It's the same lyric over and over again. Good day." But then I found myself going to bed at night singing it to myself. So I'm like, all right, clearly mission accomplished, right? And I love the piano playing throughout this. There's even like a little piano solo, piano, whatever it is. Then you can correct me again when
Yeah.
I'm saying the wrong instrument, right? But overall, I ended up enjoying the song more as I listened to it. I can't say for me, it's not an upper echelon song. I went with a six on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mario. What are you thinking?
Well, all the things you said, the piano stays with you. It's like his Yellow Submarine. It's a fun song. He does it in concert. Everybody's happy when they hear this song. I saw on Instagram a friend went on vacation and they did, Good Day Sunshine as the
Makes sense.
as the soundtrack music. And it's just people having fun, It's a 7 for me.
Okay, nice. And Vin?
Yeah, I don't remember. It might have been like 1010 Wins or one of the AM stations. I remember growing up as a kid, and you would hear dum 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 da, 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 and like it was like the start of the morning.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love that intro, the way it just comes in, and yeah, the piano solo, that honky tonk piano solo,
Mm,
was played by Sir George Martin.
yeah.
Okay.
Which is an incredible solo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just one of those McCartney things again. It's like how different A Good Day Sunshine is from Eleanor Rigby or from A Let It Be or from Blackbird. You know, the melodies, the creativity, the harmonies. Like all those brilliant, musical parts. That being said, I gave this like a 7.8.
Okay, nice,
Okay.
So wait a
nice.
second. Super M, you gave it what?
7. No points.
111. And what did you give it?
111.
6.
Mhm.
All right, cool.
All right, so let's stick with you, Vin, and your bird can sing. Go ahead.
If I fucking love that other song, I fucking love this song. Okay. I covered this song. It was like one of those songs where I think somebody suggested it. And it wasn't. I did, as the Beatle fan, and we did the 4-part harmony on this, and the fucking riff on this is incredible. The bass line, the bridge on this is great on it. The last time you tell me everything, they throw in a different one more harmony line, vocal in there. The brilliance of the Beatles, Ringo's drumming. You want all the sauce and the ingredients, and your bird can sing too, right? Right?
Yes.
This is the song for me, man. I gave this a 9.5.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Mario?
Yeah, I mean, it's such the vocal is delivered with such enthusiasm, and John really having a good time singing this song, and you can't help but feel that that positive vibe when he's singing it, and all the jangling guitars and it's wonderful. To me, I gave this a 9.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So I let you guys both go first because I was like, is it possible that I could have a higher rating than the two of you again on a song? Because I agree with everything, Vin, that you were saying, man. I love this song. This is to me everything that I like about the Beatles is summed up in this song. And I think, Vin, you said it perfectly. It's just a fun song. There's great harmonies. There's just everything about this song.
It's the perfect
love.
Beatles stew. If
It
you had to
really
make a
is.
Beatles stew,
It really is. It really
this
is.
You know what I mean?
And so I went with a 9.5 on this one. I'm like, I wonder where these guys are going to land. And
Wow.
I was like, I wonder if I'm going to go with the highest rate. And then Vin went 9.5. I'm like, damn it, we're going to be tied. But
Oh, I didn't say 9.6.
I should have said 9.51.
You should have. That still rounds off to a 9.5, though.
But it would be a 0.01 higher than yours. In fact, that's what I'm going 9.51 on this. No,
that's a little hurtful. I'll put that in there.
It's to me, it's everything to me that makes a Beatles song great. It's just a freaking great song. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So, all right, for no one, go ahead, Mario. You first.
This is, it's a very obviously very, very sad breakup kind of song, but there's a French horn in there. Again, it's 1966. We're hearing, the cello, the violin, and now a French horn is in there. And but it's a perfect McCartney vehicle. He sings it great. It's very emotional. It's a very, very good song. It's a 9 for me.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'll say this. I like the song. I like the song a lot, but maybe I'm comparing Paul to his own songs, right? I don't know. And to me, it's like I'm like, well, this is no Yesterday. This is no Oh Darling. This is not even like some of his Wing stuff, My Love and stuff like that. It just falls a step or two below those quote unquote upper echelon songs for me. I'm glad you mentioned the French horn. I like that in this song.
Mm.
I like the song, but it's just a touch below upper echelon to me. I went with a 6.8.
Okay.
And Mario, what'd you give it?
9.
Wow. So I went lower than both you guys. I gave this
Wow.
a 6.5. I mean, yeah, there's elements of the song. Again, I feel like it's even sacrilege to go against McCartney, give him anything lower than a 7. But yeah, it's I don't know why it doesn't resonate to me to go into like the upper echelon, but it's close. It's that half a point
Yeah.
off to me. Again, wonderful melodies. Alan Civil, I think his name was the French horn player.
Mhm.
And again, we should always mention like so many of these Beatles songs would never be at the level if it wasn't for George Martin.
Right.
Beatles, give them all the credit,
Yep.
please. I'm not, they wrote, but if it wasn't for George Martin, that guy was a genius.
Yeah, he really was.
And I almost feel like when the Beatles got inducted to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Martin should have been in with them, like as part of that. I know he wasn't in the band, but all I know is the body of work.
Right.
That's all I know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very true.
It's kind of like, how does Beth exist without Bob Ezrin? Or how do you know what I mean?
Right.
But how many songs the Beatles had of that ilk is what I'm saying. Where he clearly he actually performed, and I'm sure at times said, why don't we put this chord in here or what? But back then it was Lennon McCartney, and publishing. And listen, even the Beatles got gypped out of their own publishing, for God's sakes, right? So it wasn't really a focus point unless you were really a smart businessman back then, or a fucking crook,
Yeah.
Read anything about, John Fogerty and trying to get, it's a wonderful story, not a wonderful story about what he had to go through.
Right.
But there's a documentary on John Fogerty of how many years it took him to get his fucking catalog back. And he refused to play the material. It's really sad, like what greed does, where you don't make enough money to say, all right, I made enough money. I've 2 decades. I've
right.
I'll give it back. He'll give you back half. Nope. I'm not gonna. It's like, because of a contract that somebody's green and didn't understand when they were, 22 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well,
and
there's
many stories. Right. There's many stories of that.
Yeah.
Bad contracts.
Unfortunately.
Right. That's my mini.
I was gonna say, I think that was the first rant that Vin went on.
The first one, yes.
It took 8-9 songs to get a rant out of Vin. So. Well, Vin, I'm gonna stay with you then, since you're in a rant move. Dr. Robert, what do you think of this one?
It's not one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
What I was gonna say, and I thought about it. It's just so funny how there's a distinct difference in sound between McCartney and Lennon songs.
Yeah.
And that's what's the brilliance again of the Beatles. And I'm gonna skip ahead. Like if you hear what you call
That's a good one. I like that one.
Strawberry Fields, right?
Okay.
When you think about Strawberry Fields, you could only think of that song, and I know we've heard it a zillion times, but it's got Lennon oozing all out of that song. You know what I mean? But this song to me, it's just kind of flat. That being said, it's a great kind of flat song. I still gave it a 5.7.
Okay.
I still think there's great elements. I love when McCartney comes in, and he's harmonizing with, and that's what always elevates these songs. It's, and it's just all these beautiful, but it doesn't have that ultimate hook to me that really kind of draws you in.
Yep.
It's got a lot of good parts.
Yeah.
That's so I give it a 5.7.
Yeah.
Mario, what do you think?
Well, you had mentioned filler during when we were talking about the other song. This to me is filler. It's good. It's not great. It's a 6 for me.
Yep.
And it's left off the American.
Oh, is it really?
It's left off.
Okay. Yeah.
The American audience really got a Paul heavy Revolver. They took 3 Lennon songs off of Revolver and to make Yesterday and Today.
Right.
So
right. Interesting. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought up the filler thing, because that was my comment here also. I was like, this is the second song on the album to me that just feels like filler. I do like the riff of the song, but the lyrics a bit silly to me, and it's not silly in a good way, the way like Yellow Submarine I said is a little silly or whatever. It just feels like it's just there to me. It's not bad, but there's nothing that I'm like, if somebody didn't know the Beatles, this is going to be not the first, second, or even 50th song you play for them, I don't think, right? So I went with a 5 on this one.
Okay.
We'll allow that.
You'll allow that? Thank you for allowing that. I appreciate you allowing me to have an opinion.
There you go.
All right, I want to tell you. Go ahead, Vin.
Yeah, I just again, I don't know if this is the first song to do it, probably not, but the fade in, how the song comes in, it's just boom, boom, and it's got a great riff. Again, there's not one dud on this album vocal wise, with the harmonies. It's just there's no auto tuning. This was just the guys in the studio doing the stuff. I like the song. Again, not upper echelon for me, but I gave it a 6.
Okay.
Look,
I hate to admit this to the two of you. This is another song on the album I did not know beforehand, right? So,
but you want to tell us now, right?
Yeah. I'll admit it, right? So I did not know.
You didn't get what I want to tell you.
Oh, okay. I got you. Sorry.
Come on.
That one went over my head. Man, that one went over my head. But saying that, I like it. I like George's vocal. I'm glad you brought that up. And to me, one of the first things I wrote down with this is that this proves that George was kind of right there with Paul and John as a songwriter at this point. To me, I listened to this album front to back and I say, you know what? This song stands right there with most of the other songs on this album. In some
Yeah.
cases, you can make a case it's even better than some of the other songs on the album. Saying that, Vin, I agree with you. It's not quite an upper echelon song. I went with a 6.7 on this.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mario.
I can't get past how great the George vocal is on this song. I'm mesmerized by it. I
Mhm.
mean, it's soulful. It's just absolutely stunningly good to me, and that's why it's an 8.
Okay.
I love the vocal.
Yeah.
I could forget about everything else and just listen to that.
Yeah.
He
And
really nails it.
I
He
wrote
really
down in my
nails
notes, Mary, here that this, having not known this song, the more I heard it, the more I'm like, yeah, I like this one. Yeah, I
it.
like this
Yeah,
one. Yeah, I like this one. I listened to this album a number of times, front to back, to prepare
good.
for this. And I'm like, I think the more I listen to this, this is the song on the album that my rating would constantly go up. Because every
Hmm.
time I listen to it, I'm like, oh, the first time it's a 5.5.
Yeah,
Oh, no, it's a
and the
6.
bass, and the
Oh, it's
bass.
a
It's just
Yeah.
6.5.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
every time I kept going up a little bit more, I'm like, no, this is a good song. So maybe in another year or two, if I was listening to this on a regular basis, I'd be up where you are, Mario.
okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I'll remember that pool season next year when we're by the
Yes.
pool. I'll be
Yes.
putting on rating.
I'll be like 6.71. You
Yeah.
played again, 6.72
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
until I get up to a 7 finally, right? But, all right. Got to get you into my life. Go ahead, Mario. I'll let you go first on this one.
This was big in 1977, I believe, or 76 or 77 when the Beatles released rock and roll music. They released Got to Get You Into My Life as a single,
Hmm.
and it's what, 9 years later, 10 years later, and
Interesting.
it charts. It goes to number 9 or something like
Wow.
that.
I did not know
And I was
that.
like, and and to my young years back then, I was like, I'm really getting to realize just how amazing this band is
Did it
because
chart when it first was released in the
it was
60s?
never a single in
Oh, it was never a
66.
single. Wow. All
Never
right.
a single. Never
Interesting.
a single.
All right.
So I
Careful with the
had
mint.
rock and roll music, and then I'm hearing this song "Got to Get You Into My Life" on the radio. I'm like, wow! And then Casey Kasem has it in the American Top 40. Wow, I was like, I love the song. I love the
Yeah.
brass. This is Paul singing Motown, as far as I'm concerned. This is a 10 for me.
Nice. Yeah. So it's interesting because I've grown up, I've known this song, I feel like my whole life. And
Yeah.
I just assumed it was a hit in the 60s. But you're saying
Mm-mm.
no, it was not until whatever you said, 9 or 10 years later that it was a
Yeah.
hit. Obviously, at that time, 77, I was only 7, 8 years old. So
Right. Right.
that's why I would know it my whole life. But
Yeah.
man, I agree with you. This is a classic. This to me is another one where I'm like, man, it just shows that a good song is a good song and a good melody is a good melody. And I don't
Yeah.
care that the song's not driven by guitars and whatever. It's just a freaking great song. I wish it didn't fade again so quick at the end. I'm like, no, 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 I want more. I want more. This is only 2.5 minutes long. I could do a 3.5 minute, 4 minute song here easily, easily, right?
Yeah.
But it's so I went with an 8.8 on this.
And to your point, a great song is a great song.
Yeah,
A year later, Earth, Wind, and Fire made it go into the top 10.
really.
They
Oh,
had a version of it too. Yeah.
interesting.
Great
Interesting.
song.
What about you, Vin? What do you think?
Well, Mario stole some of my fire by that last comment. Thank you. The
Uh,
problem is, for so many years, I thought the song was "Got to Get You Into My Wife," but I
hmm.
guess I had that. Sorry.
Jeez.
We've now gone to the R-rated version of the show.
Sorry. Um, yeah. Again, it's the brass, as you said. You guys said basically a lot of stuff that I was going to say. The Earth, Wind, and Fire version is brilliant, and it was part of the classic movie Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's why that song was recorded, right, Mario? That's why they did that
That's
song,
why they did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
which is it's an incredible version of it,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love this song. This is an easy 8 for me.
I
Yeah.
went higher than you again. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. All
Yeah.
right.
It's
Well, then,
it's funny. Peter Frampton is so sensitive about
Mm.
him partaking in
as he should be.
Sergeant Pepper's as he should be.
Have you ever seen that movie? I know
Yes.
Mario, you have,
Yeah, of
but
course, Mary
I
has.
Oh, oh.
If I did, it was 30 years ago. It's not anytime soon.
I watched it with somebody recently, and they were just like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And I was like, "Yeah." I did like, what drugs were they taking
I feel like
when they
I
did this
watched it
movie?
in
It's
the
just
80s at some point, but I haven't watched it since.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm at Borders and I'm online, and Peter Frampton had just released Frampton Comes Alive with all the bells and whistles remastered or whatever. So he's going to sign that. And if you bought the album, he would sign something else. So the guy behind me has Frampton Comes Alive and the Sergeant Pepper soundtrack.
Oh boy.
And I said, I don't think he's going to sign that. He goes,
Oh,
why? I said, he hates it. It's not even on his website under his
mhm.
discography.
That's
He hates the.
uh
So I met Peter Frampton. He was a very, very nice, kind, gentle Englishman, very, very good. And he signed my records. And I took two steps to the right to go
You want
home.
the witness?
And the guy, and Peter, as gentle as he is, he goes, "Oh, I'm not signing that."
Wow. Oh, that's so funny. How did the guy react
Now,
that brought the album? Do you
No,
remember?
no, he was shocked. I was like,
No,
"Why? Why won't you sign it?
that's
You're on this." He goes, "I don't care if I'm on it. I'm not signing it."
that's great.
mm.
There
Love
you
it.
go.
What were you gonna say, Vin? I cut you off.
I was gonna say, what's your opinion of that? Do you think he should still sign it, even if he knows look years later it's an embarrassment?
I say
Up
yes.
You
that
say
you know
yes.
there are artists that won't sign stuff, but in look in good for the fans to stay in their good graces, you should have signed it, I think.
My opinion on that, Vin, is that if you're bringing somebody a bootleg and they don't want to sign it, I fully support that.
Right.
Otherwise, if a fan is coming to you with a product that you authorize and that you're on, to that fan in that moment, it's important to them. Whether you like it or not, almost becomes irrelevant, right? And
Exactly.
I'm not disagreeing with with Peter Frampton's
Or Paul
opinion,
Frampton.
well, Paul Frampton, with Peter Frampton's opinion, but at some point you have to say, as the artist, well, my opinion shouldn't matter. This guy or girl in front of me, this is important
Yeah.
to them, and I'll give him that moment.
Right.
Even if you sign your name and
And
put like a sad face underneath it or something like that,
Something.
it would be
Right.
funny then. But I
Something.
don't agree with not signing it.
and let's
Right.
face fact too, because maybe that person watched that as a youngster and they loved
Yeah.
the movie. It resonated for them, and this is
Hey,
like a big moment for them. Yeah, you should sign it.
the,
Agreed.
the the Aerosmith section is wonderful.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Come
sure.
together. It's
Come
great.
together. It's a great freaking cover.
yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
Absolutely.
There actually are some good covers on the Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like I said, that was a
Mhm.
great one. There are also actually some good versions of some of the stuff on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to the last song on this album.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tomorrow
yeah, yeah.
never knows. Go ahead, Mario.
I'm trying to do the bird.
Maybe I should let Vinny go first because he seems anxious here. Go ahead,
Go
Vin.
ahead,
You go
Vinny.
first. Go
You
ahead,
go.
Vin. I can't take this moment away from you. Go ahead,
The
Vin.
Wizard.
This is by far one of the greatest drum grooves ever presented forth. I mean, again, who do I need to beat up to tell them like Ringo Starr was a great drummer
Oh
and
yeah.
signature? Doom, dun, doom, dun, 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 dun. Like, I mean, it's just brilliant, and it's definitely one of the most original songs you're ever gonna hear.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, take it in the time capsule.
Yep.
What the fuck sounded like this song before it? Nothing.
Nothing.
Is it like my favorite Beatles song? I love Harrison's one. Like, those fucking everything, the production, all that. I think it's brilliant. That being said, I still give it a 7, which is upper echelon. This is right
Yep.
at the beginning
Lower level of
because
the
of all
upper
those
echelon.
things.
Mhm.
It doesn't have your prototypical chorus or anything.
No.
It's just so fucking original. I probably
Yeah.
could give it another half a point.
Go
Just on
ahead.
its originality. I'm gonna do that. What the fuck? I'm allowed. I
You're
run the
allowed. It's
scoreboard.
your
This is
rating.
my fucking scoreboard.
That's
right.
right.
But yeah, I just think, and again, bookends. We're gonna twist you into bookends. Right? Mike's this is another one that goes right over his
Yeah,
head. He's
right
just
over
not
my
talking
head.
about his guy. I mean, you start off with a Harrison song, you ended with a Harrison song, right? The album. So 7.5.
7.5. Go ahead, Mario. What are you thinking of
Oh, I know
Tomorrow
it's
Never
coming.
Knows?
Let me warm up the car. Let me warm up the car. I'm fucking, where's my keys?
I
Here they
don't know if
are.
you know. I don't think you know what's
Here they
coming.
are. Here they
What
are. Here they are. Here's the car key.
what
No
what
key
what
fob, by the way.
what you
Key.
said?
Key. Can they make cars with a fucking key? That stupid electronic fucking thing that doesn't work? And then you're fucking stuck and you can't start the goddamn car? I
There
mean,
you go.
seriously, can I have my key?
I warned you guys at the introduction. He was in the mood tonight, so
He's in a
he
mood.
was
I'm
he was
telling you.
tame. He was tame for most of this.
But
We uncaged him.
from what you said, I was gonna say identical.
Identical. Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
I
understand
like the reference there.
why are you so low in the rating? This is like a cornerstone track.
You know why?
It's
Because
so
again,
important.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But then I think of those Beatles songs I truly love
Right.
that like I salivate over, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
right? And it just, I wouldn't put that in that. If I was doing a playlist, I wouldn't put the song in there. As
Right.
brilliant as it is,
Right.
it just doesn't have that other thing that puts it in the upper echelon for me.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Well, if I'm making a
But
playlist,
try to prove me wrong. Try to prove me wrong.
No.
Not
If
there's
I'm
any
making
right
a
or wrong here.
playlist and that playlist is their bona fide, absolutely most popular songs, I'm not gonna slip in Tomorrow Never Knows. But I'm not gonna I can't be comparing this to the refinement of a Let It Be or something like that. But on its own, taken in the context of what they were trying to accomplish with this record, it's a 10 for me. I mean, this is
To Mike's point,
yeah.
Yesterday is like the greatest song to me that was ever written.
Okay.
That's in my opinion. That's like the greatest. And I just think of that from top to bottom. You want to talk about no instrumentation,
Right.
right?
Right.
So when I think 2.5 points off of yesterday, I feel like that's fair to me based on how much I love this song. You
Mhm.
see, because I'm thinking yesterday's the pinnacle,
Right.
So that's how I kind of think of you're not wrong, Mario. This is just a difference of opinion.
No, I
What did you
know,
give
I
it?
know.
You gave it a
I'm not
10,
mad.
right?
He gave it a 10. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. You're not coming to beat me up. You're not getting in your car. Does your car have a key fob?
Oh, that's great.
I can't start the car. I can't beat him up.
Oh, it's great. Well, yeah, I'll share with you. My first note in this song was, all right, after listening to this as many times as I did, I need to go to drug rehab apparently because I feel like I got high just listening to this damn
Just
song. Like,
listening to it.
what the hell, man? What the hell?
Had you ever heard this song before?
No,
So
I had
don't
not.
know.
No, this is one of the ones I did not know.
So you must have been like, all right, the last song. Let's see what's coming up here.
But I was like, every time I listen to this, like, oh my God, it's clearly that this is a drug-induced song. It's just there's nothing about this song that doesn't scream 60s, 70s drugs to me.
No, Super Mario, just give the brief 1 minute, the why there was the Indian influence on the Beatles, and especially George Harrison.
Well, they spent some time in India, but that was like maybe during the White Album era. But he had become friends with Ravi Shankar, and he got really into well, this is a John song. This isn't a George song.
When he said George, I was like, oh, I don't want to correct him because what
This
do
is a
I know? But
John.
I'm like, I thought this was John. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that you said that because I was like, don't put your foot in your mouth, Mike. These guys know the Beatles much better than you.
Yeah.
So like,
that was my mistake.
Okay, thank you, Mario.
Now the comments on YouTube is like, you idiot.
I'll sleep better tonight because I was like, wow, I really thought this is a John Lennon song, not a George Harrison song. So
like Joan Jett is not in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Remember?
Yeah,
we got ripped to shreds on that one.
Oh man, I'm never gonna live that one down because I read something that said she was. But okay,
George John. See, it sounds like George John.
Go ahead, Mario. I'm glad you just asked this question though, Vin, because I was like, wow, man, was I wrong? I thought this was a Lennon song, but go ahead.
I gave it a rating. Did you give yours?
No, I haven't given mine. Yeah, so I started talking about how I feel like I need to go to
okay.
drug rehab after listening to this song. There's something about the vocal melody that does grab me. I think it's a good vocal melody on this, but every time I heard this, I'm like, but I don't. like. I don't. I know you said
Right.
it has like an Indian flavor. To me, this has more of a 60s, 70s psychedelic
Yeah.
drunk feeling to
It
it than
is
an
all
Indian.
it's all
To
psychedelic.
me, I like. All right, I understand like George Harrison's song we talked about earlier. That's an Indian song. This to me is
Yeah.
just a 60s, 70s drunk song, and
Yeah.
that style of music just never really totally grabbed me. So even though I like the vocal melody, every time I heard this, I'm like, nah, 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 nah. So
Wow.
So
sorry, Mario. You went with 10. I went with a 4.2 on this. I'm sorry.
so you should
What the
listen to White Rabbit right after this,
Yeah.
which is totally
Uh,
other band, but
yes, I
talking
know
about
that. I
drug
know
induced.
that. I know
Yeah.
but
that. So I
the
purposely said, Mario, at the beginning that I wanted to save a comment for the end, right? So
yes,
now now's a
please
perfect time for me to bring this up.
go ahead.
And please correct me where I'm wrong, right? So
Go ahead.
to me, the Beatles, I've always thought of the Beatles in like three
Let me
parts
get
of their
let
career.
me get the car
Again,
keys.
no,
I'm
no,
feeling it.
no, no, there's nothing to feel here. There's three parts of their career in my mind. And
Go
again,
ahead.
please correct me where I'm wrong. There's the beginning part where they were, I'll say, a bit poppy, right? And whether it's I Want to Hold Your Hand, Can't Buy Me Love, poppy type songs.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
the latter part of their career where it's more like straightforward.
Sesame.
Sesame, it's not poppy, it's sesame. Cinnamon raisin. No, it's more like
Then they
what
went to
I
the
call.
cinema raisin era.
To me, it's more like the straightforward rock songs, right?
Right.
And then the middle years was always a bit folky and psychedelic, whether it was this album, Sergeant Pepper's.
Right.
Is
Right.
my perception of those three eras of the Beatles, is that
S-
somewhat correct, I'll say?
Spot on. Spot
Spot
on.
on. Okay. So
Because
coming into,
prior to Rubber Soul was Help. And
uh-huh,
I feel Help was the stop. That was the
gotcha.
stop of the Beatles being the Mop Tops, the boy band, and then they meet Bob Dylan and they come up with Rubber Soul, which is
Hmm.
more of an concentration on lyrics and storytelling and acoustic guitars and things like that.
Yep.
Then, like I said, Dr. Robert brought them some LSD, and the uh, the recording studio is now an instrument,
Right.
and they're just going crazy, getting all these different sounds. Vinny pointed out George Martin at the helm, making all of this happen. So yeah, this
Mhm.
this is like the middle three, and then after this is the more straight rock and roll
Right, right.
songs. Yeah.
So for me, that's why I was excited because I left it open to you to pick any Beatles album.
Mm,
And in my mind, of those three eras coming into this album, those middle years, sorry, were always my least favorite, right? I
okay.
always liked the poppy years better, and
Right.
I liked probably my favorite is the latter years, right? Those
Okay.
albums. And I was like, well, I'm curious when I listen to Revolver front to back, which I know some people say not only is the greatest Beatles album, but a lot of people will even say it's one of the greatest albums of all time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is this going to change my opinion of this era? So,
Mm,
because I didn't know every song on this album, right? So, and when a song like Tomorrow Never Knows comes on, I'm like, nope, this is why the middle era is my least favorite. For me, give me a song like, Oh Darling, let's just say, oh, friggin', that's a
yeah.
masterpiece. I love that song, man. That's
Oh
friggin',
wow. Great.
that is a friggin' masterpiece to me. I love the
Yep.
vocal, everything about that song. I love that whole time period. And I was like, will I feel the same about this album in this era? And if you go through my ratings, And Your Bird Can Sing is the one I gave the highest rating to, which to
Yeah.
me has the closest sound to their earlier years,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So those three eras, where do you stand? What are your favorites?
I like the more rock and roll era.
Mhm.
I love the White Album and Abbey Road, and actually Let It Be. I know it has its flaws, but that's my sentimental favorite
Mhm.
record. So
Hmm.
I would have to say, and listen, in the middle of all this, right after Pepper is Magical Mystery Tour, which is a film, but not a good one, but it has great,
Hmm.
great songs. I think
Mhm.
Vin mentioned, you know, uh,
Oh, you're
Strawberry
right. I love that one.
Fields.
Yep.
Strawberry Fields. Oh yeah, I hate that one.
Uh,
Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane,
Yeah,
great
great.
songs that were supposed to be on
Fucking
on
McCartney again.
Sergeant
That
Pepper.
that
So,
that that, that damn Penny Lane. How do you write a song like that? I mean,
uh,
what up? I'm just getting chills just thinking about the song.
I know, I
Oh,
know.
so let me ask you, Vin, and then I want to wrap up. The three eras, where do you stand?
That means he wants to eat.
Yeah, my family just came down. They're waiting for me for dinner.
Like,
So
hello,
yes,
Beatles, enough.
yes, they're literally waiting for me for dinner. So
They got
those
some
three
burnt
areas.
corn waiting for you.
Yes, those three areas. Where do you stand? And then give us our overall final tallies of this album.
I definitely like I love the last era, the best, and
Okay.
it kind of goes in order, from the
Yep.
first, second, and third. That being said, I always kind of poo-pooed a bit, that earlier stuff. Like I won't put on, like I want to hold your hand. And when I started performing those songs,
Mm-hmm.
like recently we started doing Twist and Shout. Man, I love fucking performing that
Mm-hmm.
song, and
Yep.
people go crazy doing that song.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just one of the greatest songs ever written, and it's a pop. You want to talk about just a simple pop song?
Yep.
And the final ratings, in third place or third ranking,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Brunn with a 6.7, which is still a very high and respectable number considering other
Yep.
albums we reviewed. I'm not going to go
Yep.
down.
Yep.
Yes, it's better than The Elder.
No surprise.
Me in second place with a 7.2, which is not that far off from
No,
yours,
it's not.
considering. See?
Okay.
And then we got Super M with an 8.14.
Nice.
That's about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's about right.
Yeah, and I'm going to close with this because I said I was a casual
Oh.
Beatle fan.
No, you're not going to close until I show one more thing.
Okay.
I know you have to eat.
Okay, yes. I've said this all the time. I've been to 500 plus concerts in my life.
Yes.
And the one and only time I felt like I was watching music royalty was when I saw Paul McCartney in concert. It's just, for years, I always thought I was more of a John Lennon guy. And in my later years here, as I've listened to more Beatles albums, I realized, nah, I'm more of a Paul guy, probably. It's just, what a friggin' amazing songwriter, it goes without saying. And I just wanted to share that because I said I'm a casual Beatles fan, but literally with those 500 plus concerts, that's the one and only time I ever felt like that walking out of an arena.
Yeah, it's special.
And I feel like that every time I listen to a Beatles album. I'm listening. I might not love every song. There might be songs that I think are not good.
Right.
But every time I'm listening to music history here. I'm listening to music history. So go ahead, Vin. Show what you need to. Because
Okay.
if
know.
I don't wrap this up,
All right.
my family's going to literally divorce me.
Instrument of the podcast today is a not an original, of course. This is the bass that Mr. Sir Paul McCartney made famous that I almost just destroyed. It's a Hofner bass.
Nice.
This is a reissue. These actually are the import versions that you could get rather cheap. However, I just found out that Hofner has filed for bankruptcy. So I don't know what the fate of the company is going to be. It'd be a damn shame after all these years that the company goes under. I have the feeling that some other company would pick them up anyways, but this is a wonderful instrument.
Yeah.
Nice.
And one other thing. Anyways, okay, I was going to play Come Together anyway.
Oh.
I was going to show you how Flea basically took the Come Together bass line. But
well,
we'll
I'm
save
sorry
that
to
for another
rush you.
episode.
I'm
Just
sorry
a
to
side-
rush you. I did
a-
not
It was
know.
just
aside
rushed to
of-
get me to go bowling.
Paul
Good.
bought that in Hamburg, Germany for $30 because that was the only
Wow.
bass he could afford.
And just further, didn't they reunite him with his original bass that got stolen recently?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Wow.
People read about that story. It's a great story.
Yeah,
That is
great
awesome.
story.
Awesome.
All
Wow.
right, Burger Boy.
No, it's not burgers. But anyway, this is a blast as always, guys. I'm curious to see. I'm trying to keep it all together here for everybody. I'm curious to see what people have to say about our first Beatles review and people's opinions of the songs. Again, not every song could be a 10 out of 10, right?
Right.
So I'm curious to see what people have to say about the record, the songs, our opinions. As always, all opinions are welcome. There's no right or wrong answers. And of course, we must end this episode a very appropriate way.
Yes.
Only one way to end it. The double Ringo.
Double Ringo.
Alrighty, there you have it. Our thoughts and our opinions on the Beatles' classic album, Revolver. We look forward to seeing and reading all of your thoughts and comments as well. As always, all opinions are welcome and there's no right or wrong answers. We just ask that you be respectful. I'll also look forward to seeing and reading your comments about which era of the Beatles is your favorite. Let us know. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you all next time.